Gonzalez Alcocer.
Okay. Your birth date?
No, November 25th, 1967.
Birthplace?
Lagos de Moreno, Jalisco, Mexico.
Okay. And the place you currently live in?
Zapata, Texas.
Okay. So where are you from?
I born in Lagos de Moreno, Jalisco, because my parents met there when they were working as professors or school teachers. My father originally come from migrated, and my mother from Torreón, Coahuila. So they decided to study as school teachers, and they went in the state of Jalisco. They graduated from different teaching schools, and they started working in the area. So somehow they meet in Lagos de Moreno, Jalisco, which is a very small, not very small town, but a very classic Mexican town with a lot of traditions, and that's where I born. Then from there they moved to Tamaulipas when I was like, let's say, 3 or 4 years old, and they've been living ever since I was like 4 years old, something like that.
Okay. So how long did you live in Migrated?
I lived in Migrated till I was 16 years old.
16?
16 years old.
Where did you go when you were 16?
I finished my high school year, which is Escuela Preparatoria, there in Mexico. Then I moved to Monterrey to keep on with my university studies. And I never went back to Migrated after that. When I graduated from the university, I went to start working in Monterrey area, Monterrey, Nuevo León, then moved to Nuevo Laredo, Mexico. I was there for, let's say, a couple of years, 2 to 3 years, something like that. Then, while I was in Nuevo Laredo, I started doing my paperwork to immigrate to the United States as a resident alien.
And was that your plan after college and everything? Like, did you plan to immigrate over here?
Not really. I guess the decision to immigrate to the U.S. was because I spot more opportunities as a U.S. engineer than as a Mexican engineer.
So what did you do in Laredo?
I was working in a company, a U.S. company that works as subsidiary of General Motors. I was an industrial engineer for planning for all the electrical harnesses for General Motor cars. My main objective was to work for the Cadillac Chevrolet.
And how old were you when you started working on your immigration?
I would say about 21 years.
And how did you start? Like, what did you do to start?
Got married to a U.S. person that lived in Roma, and I had two ways to immigrate. One was via my professional studies with my title, and the other one was because you get married to U.S. citizens.
Okay. How many jobs have you had?
How many jobs? One, officially 3. That's professional.
Okay.
I work in a company, alarm system and security systems in Monterrey for even a year. Then as an industrial engineer, pre-planning in the Delphi company at Nuevo Laredo. They like I say, work for the General Motors. And as a store manager for retail business, Bell's Stores. It's a company of Stage Stores Incorporated. Then I started my own business.
Okay, when did you move to Zapata?
As I got married to used to work at Roma, so we commute for 5 years. We commute back and forth every single day.
So why didn't you just live in Roma?
I guess because your mom, she had a home here, her family and everything, so we decided to start up a life here. So, and eventually buy our own house and start with business.
So you commuted for 5 years. What happened after those 5 years?
We started an import-export of medical supplies from the U.S. to Mexico, which is I did it for a couple of years. Then, while I was still on that business, I started off with another company of cosmetics, with office in McAllen, Texas. And we established a business in Torreon, Mexico. That happened for about 3 years. While I was still doing those two businesses, somehow we decided to go into the restaurant business. Somehow. But I was also very interested on the law enforcement career. And after a few years of being immigrated in the U.S., I decided to go into a master's degree on how you call it, a graduate school of criminal justice, which is I took 18 credit classes.
And what happened after those classes?
It got to a point where either I keep it going with my dream, which was business, or going into my heart, which is law enforcement. So I decided to go into business.
You stayed there. So you said the opportunity to start the restaurant business came. What was that opportunity? How did it present itself?
We didn't plan. We didn't plan it, but back in like 11 years or 13 years ago, Steakhouse was owned by mother-in-law, and she wanted for one of her kids to keep on that business. So it was owned by Daniel Mercado back then, and Daniel, he wanted to do his own thing, so he let that business go, and then it was offered to my wife, Rosanna.
And you both decided to go.
She asked me, and she was gonna take that, and it was a good idea. And I said, yes, it's a good idea. So are you gonna help me? I said, yes, I'm gonna help.
You also used to have Greg 4-stars.
Yes, Greg 4-star happened right after we let Steakhouse go.
So was that before?
Actually happened at the same time. We opened, we go on September of that year, and in October we was opening stores as well.
So why 2 businesses?
Because of our dream of having like a restaurant chain and live out of the business that we're some of our lives.
And Greg 4-stars is not open today. Care to share?
Unfortunately, economy and I guess there's a lot of factors when you close down a business. It's never going to be an easy step. But when you decide to go to do that, to close down a business, is because obviously it's not providing you with a means which is financial stability. So because of the situation in Zapata that everybody knows, and the economy the way it is, we was forced to let go of that business.
Okay, now you have income still, and you're pleased with the path you're on?
I think we're hanging in there. We're hanging in there. We're just hoping for. We have plans. We have, I guess, casualty, whatever you call it. But this time we're taking a lot with more caution, more precautions, because if we go and do a big investment, has to be something that we know it's going to work. It's going to work.
So thinking back on, not getting your license as an engineer, doing your classes, and not continuing law enforcement, do you wish you would have done those things instead?
As a matter of fact, yeah, the law enforcement thing is always is itching me constantly. But right now, 46 years old, it's kind of hard, I guess. Not hard, and it's not impossible. And there's no age limit to have your peace officer license. So maybe, who knows, maybe one of these days I can go and get my certification as a police officer.
So was it different? Was it sort of a shock?
Yes, of course, language.
Was that a huge challenge?
It was a huge challenge, but when I'm not saying that I have my English is 100%. I know I have a lot of mistakes and working on every day and learning new ways and new stuff. Guess you never, even if your native language is Spanish or any other language, you will not be able to know the language 100% of your own as the matter language. So same thing with English. But yes, when I immigrated to the U.S., was a big factor. Had the basis of English, but not 100%.
So when did you first take the U.S. citizenship test?
When I was a resident alien for 10 years or more. But because I wanted to become a law enforcement, and it was a requirement to be a U.S. citizen. So that's why I decided to become a U.S. citizen. That was like 5 years ago.
How did you learn English?
In my last year of college or university, as I like to call it, I had some classes in English, which gave the basics. Then when I started working in the transnational company like Delphi, there were a lot of people from the U.S. that will speak both English and Spanish, so I took classes with some of the people there. And then on my own, reading and listening and writing to see U.S. movies and other nationalities, mainly but mainly U.S. So for us it was natural to go to the movies and read the subtitles. So every time I had a chance to watch a movie, either at home or in the movies, I will try to relate the subtitles with actually what they start talking. So it's a way to learn a language, and it could be French or it could be Chinese or Japanese, the same thing. But since English and Spanish, they come from the same root, it's a lot easier for us to learn Italian, French, Portuguese, and English.
So the movies in Mexico, they come with subtitles. What are some other differences, like here in the US we would have subtitles in their movies, what are some other differences between Mexico and the US?
I guess the way they build up their houses, the properties, the businesses are a major, that's marked a very difference on the looks between the two countries. When you cross the border, where you're going to find beautiful houses. The most beautiful houses I ever seen are in Mexico. I've been here in the U.S. in several other major cities, Chicago, Orlando, San Diego, and so forth, Dallas, Houston. And believe me, I never seen the beautiful houses as in Mexico. But I was checking probably the difference also because of the housing, the way they build up their houses is because of people don't have the means to build up beautiful houses. All they want is just a house where they can live with all the family. So they try to build and optimize the spaces as much as they can, so 3 or 4 families can live in the same household. So, yeah.
And I haven't been to many places in Mexico, but the places I have been to, I've noticed that the houses are very close to each other and have no yards. That's because they're trying to use as much space as they can.
That's not what happening. They build, they are made of concrete and block. The majority of the houses that they don't have that much sense of gardening and having a backyard because of the spaces. Yes.
Okay, so other than Spanish and English, do you know any other languages?
Yes, Italian and French.
Can you give us a sample of Italian and
In
French?
Italian, okay, I have this poesy that is in Italian. Of course, I'm not going to be able to translate it because we don't have that time, but it says here. Con un attimo di nostalgia meridionale, senza perdere di vista del chiaro allentando delle passioni umane, il fianco complice delle veloci martiri felici per i cieli felici cantavano, lasciato la speranza poi che entrava.